FM26 Mobile is out now on iOS and Android, and we'll get the bad news right up front. Once again, it is tied to Netflix, so the only way you can play it is if you have a Netflix account. You can download it from the App Store on iOS or the Play Store on Android, but once you've got the app downloaded, in order to be able to play it, you have to log in with your Netflix account. So you need an active Netflix subscription to be able to pay, which I know is going to upset some of you, but the thing to remember, to try and put it in some context, is without that Netflix deal, FM Mobile probably wouldn't still exist. So if you do enjoy playing FM Mobile, certainly for the time being, this is the only way they seem to be able to do it profitably, which is the only way the game will continue to exist. So it's a necessary evil, and it is available now. And before we get into it and have our first look at it, I do just want to draw your attention to this post that was on the Sports Interactive website earlier today, which has this handy little comparison table between the 4 different versions of Football Manager all released today. I am doing first look videos on all of these, so if you want to see any of the other versions, have a look on the channel. The first look video will be there for you. But the one, of course, we're focused on in this video is FM26 Mobile, which is the smallest of all of them, and also the only one that's not been built in the new Unity engine. So it is going to look very, very familiar to anyone who's played FM24 previously. So it does have fewer playable leagues than any of the other versions. At just the 89 playable leagues, 27 playable nations. You can only load 5 nations at a time in your save. Your maximum data, or your database size, is only around 35,000 players. Not made with Unity. You do have that 30-year career limit, but uniquely separate to all of the Unity versions is it does still have international management in it. And that's front and center on the homepage when you first log in. Because when you first log in, as you can see, it immediately, weirdly, it has my FM24 save right there, just to confirm that it is basically the same game, dare I say. But front and center at the bottom of the homepage, you have the FIFA World Cup 2026 challenge, because of course, Football Manager does now have the FIFA license, the World Cup license. So although the mechanics of this game are going to be very familiar to us, there are going to be some new licensings included. FIFA, we've got the UEFA stuff that's been in there a few years, the Premier League, women's football, they are all in. So although the meat of the game is the same, it's certainly got a lovely layer of extra polish on top of it. And one thing it also has that is separate to, I think, all of the other versions is it still has this challenge mode included. One of the challenges is the FIFA World Cup challenge, which, believe it or not, is a challenge to win the FIFA World Cup. Get that FIFA name out there. But it's got all of the old challenges that have been in the game for years. Used to be an FM Touch on PC, way back when, or FM Classic. Remember what it was called, that? These have all been in that for years. They've not really changed. You also have the My Club mode, the Creator Club mode, which again, not available in any of the Unity versions. So there are some interesting little legacy game modes that you can do on mobile that you can't do on any other version of the game. So if you just want to play international football, do some challenges, but have the new licenses and updated database, maybe mobile is the one for you this year. It is certainly the most simplified version of all of the different types of FM that you can play. You can tell I'm recording this late at night. I just had my bedtime reminder. Goodness me. So we are going to start a new game, and we're going to have a little look at it. We're just going to do a standard game. We're not going to do any of the challenges. For now, we are just going to do a club. We know how international football works. And there you go. Just like in the Unity versions across the other platforms, you can choose men's or women's teams. I don't think this is restricting to only have one in the game world at a time. I think this is literally drilling down to pick a team. So do you want to manage a men's or a women's team? So let's say we want to manage a men's team. We want to see this Premier League license. So we're going to go England. And there you go. Premier League, Sky Bet Championship, down to the Enterprise National. It's all licensed. The whole of England is now licensed. And as you can see, we've got the licenses for all of the Premier League teams on there as well. If I can make that scroll, even Manchester United, who of course didn't even have their real name in the previous version of Football Manager, Man UFC, now fully licensed with badges, kits, face packs, all that kind of stuff. I'm not actually sure how much of that is in mobile. We'll have a look at that in a second. We can then build our game world. You can only have 5 nations, as we saw in the little table we were looking at before. But as you can see, you can do a combined men's and women's save. So you can have men's and women's from England loaded, and any combination within that, or you can just do men's only. If you'd have picked a women's team, you could have just done women's only as well. That is there as an option. So if we confirm that and let it set up our database, it saved my little manager profile from last year, which is bonkers. Obviously they've not been able to do that on any of the other versions because they've all been completely rebuilt. It has added in the household name stuff. We'll leave that in. I can be a household name. I don't mind being a household name, and we'll confirm that, and it will keep my little profile picture. And we could add in a new one. I've lost like 6 stone since that picture was taken, and I couldn't wear that horrible shirt anymore. But yeah, we'll leave the profile picture as that for now. What a mad thing to be in the game. And we'll just give this a minute to set up. Oh, in fact, there it is. I was gonna do a cut. I don't need to. That picture is a remarkable thing, isn't it? So Manchester United have appointed Chapman as manager, and there you go. I'm welcomed in. We've got all of the tutorial stuff you would expect. But then, like I say, the actual game itself is very, very familiar to anyone who's played FM Mobile before. I wouldn't be expecting a load of new features. What you're getting is the same game you've had for the last goodness knows how many years, but with a whole load of new licenses. So it's certainly got a lot more polish than it's had in the past. And I know for some people, that might be enough. Because one of the biggest frustrations for FM Mobile and FM Console has always been that it didn't have the badges, it didn't have the kits, it didn't have the real faces. But as you can see, Manchester United, we've got the real name, the real badge. I don't know if it has kits because I think it is still just the 2D match engine on this version. If you want to play the 3D match engine, you can on an iPhone, I said that in a strange way. You can on an iPhone, not on an Android. The way you do it on an iPhone is through Apple Arcade, and you can get the FM Touch, which is the version that works across iPad, iPhone, Apple TV, etc. So what I'm trying to do is just get us through to a match because, like I say, pretty much everything else in the game is as it's been previously. So tactics, I don't think it's giving us the new in and out of possession stuff. I think it is just same old. I'm double checking. It is just the exact same tactics creator that we've had in FM Mobile since the beginning of time. It feels, and I've said this in my first looks at FM Mobile before, it just feels like playing old school Championship Manager. You can get through a season super quick. I very occasionally will load up FM Mobile if I'm on a train journey or on a plane or something and I've got nothing else to do and just blast out a season in a few hours, and it is quite good fun for that. But certainly it is, as the console versions and the PC versions both converge with each other and continue to push forward graphically with new gameplay innovation stuff, it does very much feel like this version is just kind of being left behind a little bit. There you go. Let's just do a quick pick of the team. It's weird that it's putting Sesko out on the left wing. I'm not going to argue with it too much. That is a very weird formation. We've got Yoro at wing back, Dorgu at the base of midfield. It seems like it doesn't know what tactic we're playing. It's picked a team that would fit Manchester United's 3-4-3, but then tried to shoehorn it into this shape, which is, obviously, let's try and clear it and then pick it from scratch. Maybe it doesn't like, there you go. It just doesn't like picking when there's already a team picked. So that's the same thing, picked from scratch. That makes a lot more sense. We're not going to go into it in too much detail. What we do want to do is just have a look at how the match engine runs on this new version. I suspect it's going to be exactly the same as it's been on the last several versions. It's going to be our 2D match overview thing. Yeah, okay, there you go. So, like I say, it is just old school Championship Manager stuff from many, many moons ago. If you want that, I know there are a lot of people very upset and not enjoying FM26 on PC this year. If you want that retro hit, yes, it's much more simplified, but it takes you back to like Championship Manager 0102, Championship Manager 3, 4, that kind of era with the 2D match engine and the fast-paced seasons, but with that lovely polish of all the licenses, international football. It's got women's football in now. I think it's, I don't know. I think everyone's got a Netflix account, right? So I think people will probably turn to this a little bit if they're not enjoying the PC version. Let me know down in the comments if that's your intention, if you're maybe looking to rediscover FM Mobile. Certainly if you've played it at any point in the last 10 years, it'll be like riding a bike. You'll just be immediately straight back into it. There's very little in the way of change to how the game works in that time. But I think crucially, it does work. I've not noticed any bugginess, any lagginess. You're just straight away playing matches. And it's just that old school nostalgic Football Manager hit, which might be exactly what you need if you're having a bit of a sad time because of bugs and UI decisions and things like that on the mainline game. If you're feeling a little bit alienated from that, maybe give this a bash. Yes, it's going to be very basic, but it'll keep you amused for an evening. It's still better than any other mobile management game. So I think it has a lot going for it. This might seem like I'm not being very positive about it because I'm talking constantly about how it's not really changed, but it didn't really need to. It's just a nice, simple mobile game. And certainly for someone in the Apple ecosystem like me, who, if I want a meatier experience on this same device, I've got the option for Apple Arcade. And I know not everybody is on Apple and not everybody has access to both, but I am lucky in that I have the opportunity to play both. And I think even in that environment, there is room for this one. So yeah, it's more of the same, but with shinier licenses. And for a lot of people, that might be enough. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you've enjoyed that video, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, including first looks at all the other versions of the new FM26 game. And thank you very much for watching.